Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of On the DELO. I am your host, the DELO, if you don't already know, and I appreciate y'all listening. Thank you again for the, all the plays and everybody being engaged, and I just love it. I love doing this. I'm looking through my podcast book now, and we're broaching 100 podcasts. I plan on having a lot more guests on, actually throwing some invites out right now and getting some great responses. So I'm excited for the future and a lot of the people's stories that you'll get to hear and everything that's going on. In the meantime, DELO is going to do a couple things that are on his mind and things that he wants to talk about here. And, this is called Riches Are in the Niches, or Riches in the Niches. This is actually I looked it up. It's a quote by Pat Flynn. And, it's something that I never thought would be part of my business, as a young kid. Like, oh, my God, I'm just going to focus on one thing. And if you know me, as you realize, bar restaurant insurance is an insurance brokerage, a boutique brokerage that I own that has concentrated and does concentrate on the hospitality industry. So that's not really what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk a little bit of the business aspect, but I want to talk about the niching of ourselves as individuals and as people and, our daily in and out lives and things that, at least help me in business, and hopefully with some of these talking points, it can, help some of you if you're even looking for that, or if you're just looking for, a listen here. So that being said, I do have some exciting news. I had mentioned it on the last podcast. If you listened to the Tiny Home podcast, thank you. And if you haven't, check it out. You can check out what Kim and I are doing. We've had a tiny home built, and we're doing some extension of that up in Shola, which is about 3 hours away from here in Phoenix. And in that podcast, I had mentioned what I'm going to mention now, and that's about a mastermind that I'm going to be doing with my friend Jeremy Scott. Jeremy Scott has a great podcast as well. If you check out Jeremy Scott Fitness, his podcast is phenomenal, amazing. I think he's 300, 500. I don't know. He's a lot of episodes in, but he's doing a great job and does his every week. And so together we're going to do a mastermind, and we're going to really bring in, 10 people that want to share the likes and the mindset of what Jeremy and I have, and really, really share a lot of cool stuff with everybody. So more on that to come. But let's get into the the riches in the niches, the phrase, the question of the day. And when you look at it from a business perspective, yes, I think there's a lot to be said in the obvious, where if you have somebody that's very laser focused on something, they've created a niche. They've created something where, they're, let's just say they're doing blankets, they're selling blankets for a living, and they have this niche on how they make the blankets, and then all of a sudden they have different designs on the blankets, and then different softness and all sorts of. So you've got like this, this niche basis of, I'm a blanket maker, or I'm a basket maker, or I have a business that is a doctor that just niches in basically forearms or brain niches or stuff like that. So there's a lot of different types of business niches that are out there, and I think a lot of times people feel that, oh my God, you've got this niche going on, and therefore you make all this money. And if you look at some of the biggest companies in the world, like Amazon and Google and all them, they're not really niche-based companies. They're multi-hundred billion dollar companies that they don't have a single niche. They do pretty much everything. And that's kind of the thing, is like in business, you might be a salesperson for, let's just say, a certain product, but maybe that product has a lot of different ways of helping many people. And so then you have to make that decision, am I going to sell this product to just one area of these people that can use this, or am I going to sell this product to everybody that can use that? And that's a lot of what I see on my end, as well, with insurance agents. It's there's a lot of insurance agents that are, what's called generalists. They just kind of sell insurance. Somebody calls up, says, hey, I've got a shooting range. Okay, cool. I'm going to go find you coverage. Or, hey, I've got, 7 automobiles that, drive construction. Cool. I'm going to find you that. So there are people out there that are quote unquote generalist. I am not one of those. I am one of those where if it's a bar restaurant, I'm going after it. This is is, I know what to do. My staff knows what to do. We've been doing it over and over again. And in essence, it's almost like working out. It's like your muscles kind of remember, what to do. Sometimes there's some curveballs that are thrown at you, and that's fine. But, all in all, it's, it's pretty repetitive in that sense. So that's all obvious. That's all obvious on the business aspect of niches. But let's talk about life niches. Let's talk about what we do in our daily life that creates a niche. And I'll just speak from what I do. I'm not saying what I do is right. I'm not saying what I do is what you should do. All I am doing is sharing a story of who I am and what I do and, why I do it in essence. And so, when I hit my 40s, I really think I came into a different season of life, and I've talked about seasons of life on here. And, if you're, a little bit older and you've gone through certain decades, you can probably piece out every decade and go, okay, this was, that decade I did this one I did that. And for me, my 40s was that decade of, let's just say, and it's not over yet, I'm still 49. It's that decade of organization and mindset and really creating a happiness within that gave me a physical well-being, but also a daily mental well-being. And with the daily mental well-being, for me, it was really going, okay, do I need to burn every end of the candle all the time? Do I always have to create things for me to do? Because, that in the past was feeling my worth. I was always struggling to get business. I was always struggling to, win accounts and do things. And now, after 25 years of doing what I've been doing, I've actually built up that database of friendships and connections and all that works for me in a positive direction day in and day out. And I've also attracted a lot of great employees and people in my life that have helped to maintain and prosper those relationships, which helps the overall embryo of the business that I've grown. I don't know if embryo is the right word, but it'll work for now. So my day in and day out, when I look at stuff, we've talked about non-negotiables. I've looked at things in the aspect of what makes me feel really good right now. And I got to tell you, like right now and for a while, it's eating good. When I eat good and I don't feel lethargic or tired or too caffeinated or this and that, it makes a huge difference. I can very much predict my day and predict how I'm going to be or how I'm going to feel around others and how productive I may or may not be. Obvious one, working out. And working out can be calisthenics, it can be stretching, it can be weights, it can be walking around the neighborhood, with a rucksack on or pulling a sled or walking the dog or hiking or any of that sort of stuff. But anything that involves any sort of outdoor movement is absolutely non-negotiable, makes me feel good every day. And I think the working out and the eating right, all that hand in hand. And then learning. I love to learn. I learned, I got a real estate license last year. That was fun to go to school and just kind of learn stuff about real estate in terms that I would hear. I love to learn about, health and wellness, and doing all that sort of, research on what makes me tick, what doesn't make me tick, what might or might not be good for a person, or for myself. So that's been a lot of fun. And, on a weekly basis, every day I play guitar for a little bit, but on a weekly basis, I'll take guitar lessons. And I also now am taking Spanish lessons. So I'm always trying to keep the brain active and moving and just, really figuring out other things to do to keep it exciting, and to have something to look forward to. And I think every hour, every minute, every second of the day, I'm always looking forward to, to doing something, which is really great. It's really creating that, that availability within myself to be excited day on and day out. And it's like, doesn't matter if it's Monday or Sunday. Does each day have its own personality in essence of what, maybe the niche that you've created within your personal self? Of course it does. But, that being said, I tend to appreciate and respect each day for what it is. So knowing Thursday, hey, I've got guitar lessons, I've got Jeremy Scott Fitness, I'm really excited about those things, and I got some really cool meetings in between. And that's another thing is, talking to people. That is something that I've created within a niche within myself. I need that constant, communication and that camaraderie between other good people or new people to meet, because there's so much opportunity and there's so much, passion that I'm able to spew out to people that they give back to me, based on the excitement of the life that I'm living. And that's something of added value, whether it be a prospect, a customer, a friend, a family member, that I want to be able to share. I want to be able to give that while I am still alive and I'm still able and I'm just cranking away. So, talking to people is a huge one. I came up with this quote: if we are many to one, we can't be one to many. So what I think I thought, or what I feel I meant by that, is we can't be one to many. If you think about that, if I'm trying to do all these things to satisfy a whole bunch of different people that don't really complete me, don't give me passion, don't satisfy my life, then there's an aspect of me that just can't, I can't be that great. I just can't. But if I'm concentrating on what makes me happy, what completes me, yes, there's a sense of selfishness that comes with that. Agreeably, I think we all need to be sort of selfish for ourselves, because if we really create the ultimate life, the ultimate lifestyle, day in and day out, minute by minute, second by second, day after day, again, I really think that means, we can be that much better for every person that comes into our life, because we are living our true passion. We're able to share that passion with them, and we're able to have a lot of happiness in between, and during. So that's really the quote that I came up with and what I was thinking about that. Niching our individual selves, I just really, really, really think is something that gets overlooked, and something that sometimes most people feel that they're too busy to take the time out of themselves to really figure out what's going to, make this the perfect life and the perfect lifestyle for them. So that's, really in a nutshell, or in a niche shell, really all I have to say today. It's, again, about living healthy, happy existence and doing those things as a person that you love. And it's especially great when you have a partner like I do with my wife, and you're able to share those passions with somebody, and you're also able to look at their passions and respect them for what they are. Like my wife is an amazing designer. She loves designing homes. She loves decorating. Our house is under decoration now. I do enjoy not necessarily the process or the construction, but I do enjoy the process of seeing something go from A to Z, and us, sharing in that moment together. And that makes her happy, and that completes her. And there's no wrong in that, because it's not something that I'm not 100% on, or what I want to be doing day in, day out. But I'm certainly happy for her to have that, and for me to have, the things that I have that she supports as well. So niche yourself, definitely find what makes you happy, find that passion, find that love, do all these things. I promise you, you're just going to see this change in your life that every day you'll just so look forward to, and you're going to be like, wow, this is my life. I own this life. I'm excited to go do this, this, and this. And even when you have to go do those things that you aren't necessarily always excited about, because we have those moments, you're still going to be in a better place, because 90% of the time you will be doing what, how, and all the things that you love to do. And I'm looking forward to hearing about your journey. So until next time, this is a short podcast. Like I said, I got some great guests coming up. Please follow me on Instagram at IAMTHEDELO. And thanks for, checking us out. Appreciate, love y'all. Peace out.